עזוב את הדגל!
הלו! הלו, אדוני!
עורב!
היי!
אנרכיסט! הלו!
מה זה?
עזוב את הדגל, בחייאת! אני בשוק. עורב! עורב, מה? אני בהלם. אני בשוק.
All right, Shalom, this is your brother Yuanathon. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rekak Wadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Now, the shooting down or the tearing down of a flag is a declaration of war. And the Lord is declaring war on all the nations. This is biblical prophecy. Before the kingdom of heaven is established, would the nations be gathered to fight each other? But ultimately, the real reason they're being gathered, or the spirit of war is being stirred up within them, is so that the Lord will get them all in one place and make an example out of them. You understand? When we go to Joel 3, and we're going to read it in the NLT, it's made plain why the nations are being gathered in that particular region of the earth. The Lord even gives us a region. All right? Now, this is Joel 3:1 in the NLT here. All right, so at the top of Joel, the 3rd chapter, on the right side here in the NLT, it says, at the time of those events in the last days, says the Lord, when I restore the prosperity of Judah and Jerusalem, all right, all the tribes. And you gotta, when you read this, you gotta ask yourself, okay, when does the restoration of the entire nation take place? Well, we go to Revelation 22 in verse 3, and this is, of course, this is talking about the establishment of the kingdom of heaven, okay? It says, no longer will there be a curse upon anything, because right now the whole earth is cursed because of the people that are in rulership. In Proverbs 29, in I believe the 2nd verse, it tells you what? When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. All right? When the righteous, you know, I'll just go get it really quick. And I'll come back to the Revelation 22. All right, this is Proverbs 29 and 2 in the KJV here on the left. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. All right, so there you go. And we know, pursuant to Job 9 and 24, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, which is Esau, the so-called white man. It was foretold to him that he will have the fatness of the earth. He will rule and have dominion over the earth. All right, for a allotted time. The blessing that Jacob got was an eternal kingdom. Esau's blessing was a temporary blessing. And that's why he's still upset about it. He's fighting to get it back today. All right. So let's go back to Revelation 22 and 3. So upon the establishment of the kingdom, right, it says no longer, and I'll just start here at the top of 22 on the right in the NLT. It says, the angel showed me a river with water of life, clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb. It flowed down the center of the main street. On each side of the river grew a tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit, representing the 12 tribes of Israel, with a fresh crop each month. The leaves were used for medicine to heal the nations. The Lord is coming back with healing in his wings, right? Verse 3, no longer will there be a curse upon anything. And who was put under the curses? All right, going back to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. The nation of Israel, because they broke the covenant. All right. They were given that ultimatum in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. The Lord gave them he laid before them life and death. All right, let's read verse 1 here. And we'll read it in NLT just to keep that flowing. Deuteronomy 28:1. If you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully keep all his commands that I am giving you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all nations of the world. Okay, and then it goes on to list all the blessings and the dominion over the earth that they would have. The lack of stress. But when you jump down to verse 15, it gives you the other side of the coin if they were to be disobedient. Deuteronomy 28:15. But if you refuse to listen to the Lord your God and do not obey all the commands and decrees I am giving you, today all these curses will come and overwhelm you. And we have been overwhelmed by the curses. Now, when we go back to Joel 3, the reason I ran that image, that video in the beginning of the lesson with the bird nipping down the flag of the imposters. That was an omen for a declaration of war, the same declaration of war that the Lord is declaring against them and all the heathen round about. All right, so this is Joel 3:1 here on the right. It says, at the time of those events, says the Lord, when I restore the prosperity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat, right there off the coast of Iran. There I will judge them for harming my people. Because you remember in Psalms 83, all the nations were confederate against us. The chief one being, of course, Esau, Edom, the head tribe being Amalek. But all the nations, they got a righteous justice getting ready to play out upon them. Verse 2 again from the top here on the right. I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Jehoshaphat. There I will judge them for harming my people, my special possession. They've touched the apple of the Lord's eye. For scattering my people among all the nations. So get that. The Lord, for our disobedience, used the nations to scatter us. But then he's going to turn around and judge them. He's the director of the movie. He can do what he wants to do. Some people will read that and they would think it's unfair. But when you make a movie, you got to make a bad guy. You got to make a good guy. You got to make background characters. Let's just be grateful that if you're an Israelite, especially if you're an Israelite and you've been called, that means you have the opportunity to be chosen. It's a lot of Israelites, man. They're not even going to be called. All right. For harming my people, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations and dividing up my land. And they're over there still fighting over a land that's not theirs. All right. When the nation of Israel goes back to the land of Israel, and all the brothers have been going into it all week, like it says in Isaiah, the 14th chapter, the Lord is going to put them back there. It's going to be after that great war takes place, after the Lord reveals himself to the people of the earth. That didn't happen before 1948, before the Balfour Declaration took place. That doesn't fit prophecy on how we return to the land. Also, when we return to the land, there's not going to be any more war. None of the nations are going to be building up their military. All right? What is that? Malachi? No. Is it? I'll go get it really quick. Swords into plowshares. It's actually the reverse of this chapter. Because in Joel 3, it talks about, see there, verse 10, it talks about the nations building up their militaries for this great war that's getting ready to take place. But in Micah, the 4th chapter, is the reverse. Because the the kingdom of heaven is being established. The people are back in the land. We've been changed. We've taken them possessions whose possessions we were. And there's not going to be any reason for the nations to have a military. Why would they? We're going to be dictating the flow of economies and how things are moved and decrees that go out and all of that. That new world order that Esau's trying to establish this go around for himself, we're going to establish it in righteousness. You see? So with that, there's not going to be a need for nations and their militaries. So in Micah 4:3 here, on the right, we'll keep it going in the NLT. It says, the Lord will meditate between peoples and settle disputes between strong nations far away. And it says rebuke on the left-hand side. They make it sound not as bad on the right. But, you know, the Lord he's a very serious man. There's going to be a lot of unlearning of wickedness going on in the kingdom. They will hammer their swords into plowshares. All right. So the reversal of militarization, you know, taking their weapons and making them agricultural tools. OK. They will hammer their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will no longer fight against nation, nor train for war anymore. And that is definitely not taking place since the JOOs moved into the land. Okay, so now back to Joel, the 3rd chapter. And the only reason I really wanted to get Joel 3, I'm not going to go through the whole chapter, is just to show this declaration of war that the Lord is declaring on the nations. All right, Joel 3:3. They threw dice to decide which of my people would be their slaves. They traded boys to abstain prostitutes and sold girls for enough wine to get drunk. What do you have against me, Tyre and Sidon? All right, those are Hamite nations, actual Africans. All right, which the so-called black people here in America, they're not Africans or Hamites. Okay. Just because we have a similar complexions does not make us the same people. All right. The Lord even tells you in, I believe it's Exodus, is it 1:14? I might be mistaken. That, or 14:7. Let me just go see. Here, let me go. That the Lord doth put a difference between. Yeah, it's not. Let me see here. I think it's 14, yeah. Gotta be. Or is it 11:7? Let me double check here. Yeah, 11:7. Exodus 11:7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue, and this is on the left in the KJV, against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. All right, we're completely different people from them. Two different lines. They're from the line of Ham or from the line of Shem. Okay. Oops. Let's go back to Joel, the 3rd chapter here. All right. Joel 3:3. Actually 3:4. What have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and you cities of Philistia or Palestine? Are you going to take revenge on me? If you are, then watch out. I will strike swiftly and pay you back for everything you have done. You have taken my silver and my gold and all my precious treasures and have carried them off into your pagan temples. You have sold the people of Judah and Jerusalem to the Greeks so they could take them far from their homeland. But I will bring them back from all the places to which you sold them, and I will pay you back for everything you have done. I will sell your sons and your daughters to the people of Judah. And they will, and you know, these kids over here acting like they ain't got no damn sense. And they will sell them to the people of Arabia, a nation far away. I, the Lord, have spoken. So this is a declaration of war on the nations. And it's beautiful to see the foundations of it taking place, because we know the new heavens and the new earth is on the way, man. So with that being said, man, Abarat Azah, the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rekah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.